What's up, weirdos? Uh, all right. Hmm. TWG trading without Gherk is really bad for my port. Thank God you're back. Oh fuck, man. My allergies are the worst right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but the tree cum this year is particularly violent. I've put eye drops in like 6 times this morning already. Trump's about to make an announcement. Oh, goody. Oh, how was the 3-year note auction? 3.824 versus 3.826. Bid to cover 256. Sold 58 billion. Primary dealers at 13.92%. Wait, wasn't Trump supposed to speak at 1? T-Dog? Jesus Christ. Oh, Balani, just so you know, you can come back to the fold. Poopy's leaving. Oh,
Teams across the land.
he's making a sports announcement? What the fuck is
Young
this?
players in America to join their ranks. Hundreds of thousands of football fans will travel all across our country to cheer them on. And
Why in the fuck is he constantly talking about football?
100,000 people, I think. What is the capacity would you think it can hold? Because the mall can actually hold up to 1 million people. if you go all the way back. What do you think? 3 days will be over. Oh, yeah, you're good. Boosting local businesses and bringing jobs and tourism to the heart of our capital. The draft is a celebration of one of our country's most cherished cultural institutions and the annual highlights for football fans everywhere. Everyone in the world is going to be watching. We look forward to welcoming people from across the nation, from all over the world. Last month, the Washington
I
Commanders
love that our most important cultural institution is slightly brain dead mid 20-year-old athletes.
Arena at the site of the RFK Stadium in Eastern Capitol Hill.
Immediately back. Welcome back, Belani.
Anywhere in the world on that site. You know, he's a friend of mine. He's a very successful guy. There's a reason for it. It's amazing. It sat there for years, and people were talking about stadiums and.
Oh, I thought you left because of Poopy.
I said they're not talking about the best site. That's the best site there is. Bringing professional football back into the district from Maryland. And not only are these announcements great for the NFL, but they also advance the mission of making Washington, D.C. safe and clean and beautiful. And we're working very closely
still need to
with
get
the
it
mayor,
up over 75.
you know, and,
they have room to run it if they
we
do.
made a lot of improvements in the last few months, and it's getting to look really strong. Crime is way down, and there's a good relationship we have going with Muriel. So I want to thank you very much. And would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mr. President.
The mayor, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry. Well, greetings. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of the best city in the world and also the sports capital. And we are delighted to be here with the Washington Commanders, the NFL, and the president to talk about this very exciting announcement for Washington, D.C.
God, this is so fucking
believe in
quiet.
investing in sports because they have helped us transform.
Can you guys hear this?
And the NFL bringing this event to the nation's capital will help us fill hotel rooms, our restaurants, and Americans from all 50 states will come to their nation's capital and enjoy our beautiful city and museum. So we're just delighted to be here, and we want to thank everybody for all the hard work to get here.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Well, Mr. President, thank you. We're honored to be here in the Oval Office and to have you announce the 2027 NFL Draft is a special treat. So thank you for your support. Also, thank you for your support in the Commanders' new stadium. We agree it's going to be a great site. We think it's going to be great for our fans here, and it's great to come back home. And so we're very excited about that. Josh is leading the way on our behalf and the mayor, so we thank both of them for that. We also want to thank you because in the first term you helped us get a Canadian trade deal, which we want to make sure we note again and make sure you know.
Does not like me too much.
5696 ES is proving to be a bit of an issue today.
Company a lot of money that you deserved, frankly. So.
Thank you. The draft has really become
up, NW?
One of the great entertainment and sports
It
events.
looks kind of bullish to me.
Just a week ago in Green Bay, we had over 600,000 people attend.
I mean, I guess they could say something right now that's not, but
as the president remarked,
we didn't lose
well over a
65
million
back
when we come
here,
to
which I
DC
think
in
was a pretty
2027.
important
So
test.
We not only believe it's a great
Inverse head
site,
and shoulders.
we believe it's consistent with what the
on, like,
president
the
said,
5
which
minute,
is investing in our communities, investing specifically here
with a
in
higher
the nation's
right shoulder,
capital,
which is
one
probably
that I
pretty
grew up
bullish
in
also.
Washington, D.C., and it's particularly important. We think we can have a tremendous impact on this community.
Looks like
and it
there's
will not just
calls
be an event,
bought
it will
out
be
to
something that will
like
show the world how far
85.
the nation's capital has come.
Sold calls out
and
above
where it's
that, but the
going.
majority
We're
of
very
sold calls
excited
at like
about that.
5,700. So
And we thank everybody here.
it seems
We
like a
thank you for your
push up would be
support.
possible.
We know it's
There's
going to
some
be a great
bot
event, Mr.
bets
President.
at
Thank you
spot,
again.
but not very many.
You're welcome.
Good luck with it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you very much. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for your leadership in terms of the stadium, and now, what a great day for Washington. I mean, to host the NFL draft in 2027 on the Mall, I believe we'll get over 1 million people, and it's going to be an amazing day, and it'll showcase what Washington's all about, but it'll also showcase what our country's all about. Washington is the gateway city to our country, and you know, it'll be an amazing day, and we can't wait to get started. And I couldn't have done it without my partners, Roger Goodell. Thank you. and Mayor Muriel Bowser. And we're ready to get to work, and I can't imagine RFK coming back. I grew up here. DC used to stop and on Sundays, and everyone would be inside watching football, or everyone would be glued at the stadium. And so we want to bring that back. And football really is as essential to the culture of America. We all love it, we all watch it, and it brings people together. And so what a great way to celebrate the United States of America, the NFL, and the Washington Commanders. And President Trump, we leave on your desk a Trump jersey. You are the ultimate commander, so it is a Commander's jersey. There's no bird on it, but you know, we appreciate you, and thank you for everything you've done, and look forward to the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I have to say that Josh had a very good draft a short while ago. You have a very good quarterback. A great quarterback, I think. Yeah, great. Any questions, please, about the stadium or any of it? Yeah, please. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. About the draft, and I would like to upcome an event that it was already mentioned here, the World Cup. Although United States, the passion here is football. For the World Cup next year, how do you envision, Mr. President, this event here in the United States?
It'll be fantastic. I worked very hard to get the World Cup. It was, in fact, I think I have the trophy right here, right behind you. Don't have a picture taken with Roger and that trophy, by the way. But no, they brought it in. Johnny, who's a good guy, but he brought that in. That's the actual trophy. It's interesting that you asked that. And
We need to get out above 77.
Tiffany's, and they're leaving it here until just before the actual World Cup. Then it goes to the champion. But that's very exciting. We have the Olympics. So we have both of them. I worked very hard in getting both, and I said, you know, I'm not going to be able to be there as president. And then a strange thing happened, and it turned out I became president not for the term that I was supposed to be. I became president where we have the Olympics and the World Cup, and we have something that maybe surpasses everything, the 250th anniversary of our country. So that's going to be great. That's going to be a very big event, a year-long event. So thank you for the question. Very nice question. Yeah, please.
Yes. So you've often said you want U.S. to be bigger, better, and stronger.
The ball comes down from
Currently,
here.
Russia is the biggest country in the world.
Yes, just
by
tested
landmass,
5,700.
Followed by
New high for the day.
Canada, and then China. So when you say that you want to annex Canada, is it
Calls coming
so
into
that
the
it
upside
will
at
be the biggest country?
58.85, 95,
Although I am a real
5,700.
estate developer at heart.
It's a little bit of a flat spot at 80,
I've never
which can be
heard
hard to
that
get over.
question.
But
Yeah,
I
please,
think
go
calls
ahead.
will come in to fill that
Do you
too.
have to hire more
So in the
security
money
police
calls
in
at
order
65.
to accommodate the 1 million people coming in for the NFL draft?
I think that there'll be something, and I know Roger will work it out, and Josh, and all of us will work it out. It's such an honor to have that. I think it'll be great for everybody, great for our country.
Almost
It'll be
over
something very
77
special.
here.
There's no scene like it. There's no site like it. My whole life was based on sites, locations, and as soon as I looked at that rendering, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to really be beautiful. You know, interestingly, I didn't know exactly where it's sat relative to the Capitol, but the stadium, if you go back, is right behind the Capitol, miles behind, but nevertheless visually right behind it. So it's going to be an architect's dream, whoever the architect is chosen, and the owner. It's going to be something special. I think it's going to be great for the area. Going to be, it will be top of the line. I know these people very well, and they only know about top of the line. And I would say that more will be put into the stadium than would be put into a identical stadium of a similar size. I think they're going to do a special, because of the importance of the location. I have no doubt they'll do a special job. Yeah, please.
Can you explain a little bit about how you would implement tariffs on the film industry, kind of how that would work?
Well, that's a different story, but our film industry has been decimated by other countries.
Did you say
taken
film
out,
industry?
And also by incompetence, like in Los Angeles. The governor is a grossly incompetent man. He's just allowed it to be taken away from, Hollywood. Hollywood doesn't do very much of that business. They have the nice sign and everything's good, but they don't do very much. A lot of it's been taken to other countries, and a big proportion. And I'm actually going to meet with some because, there's some advantages, I guess, and I'm not looking to hurt the industry. I want to help the industry. But they're given financing by other countries. They've given a lot of things, and the industry was decimated. If you look at how little is done in this country now, you think we were the ones. We used to do 100 not long ago, 100%. Now we do almost like very little. It's shocking. Are you in that business too? Because he's in so many businesses. You could explain it, but it's not a good situation. So we're going to meet with the industry. I want to make sure they're happy with it because we're all about jobs. That's all what it's very important. It's a big industry, but it's an industry now that's it's really left. It's abandoned the USA where it started, and we'll get it back. Yeah, please.
Thanks, Mr. President. First, I just want to thank you for letting us in here. I'm with Zero Hedge, and the last administration banned us on social media, so we're really grateful to be in the White House. And this is not exactly sports related, but
this is Zero Hedge.
I've been trying to ask you this question for a long time, which is that 2.5 years ago,
what the fuck?
The Nord Stream pipeline blew up, and despite what people like John Brennan and all the hawks said, you were one person who said,
"Get in there, Kirk."
Fucking
seriously.
They said Russia blew it up. Yeah.
And so I'm wondering now that you're president, if you would consider launching a formal investigation into what happened there and who actually did blow it up.
Well, probably if I asked certain people, I'd be able to tell you without having to waste a lot of money on an investigation. But I think a lot of people know who blew it up. But I was the one that blew it up originally because I wouldn't let it be built. And then when Biden got in, he allowed it to be built. And it's very interesting. But I think Russia, with the price of oil right now, oil's gone down. I think we're in a good position to settle. They want to settle. Ukraine wants to settle. If I weren't president, nobody would be settling. They're losing 5,000 people a day. Think of it. Here we talk about football. They're losing 5,000 people on average a week. Most
All right, turn it off.
Ukrainian soldiers,
yeah, stop being news.
5,000 a week, not including people that are, killed as missiles go into areas that they shouldn't be.
What is Zero Hedge? 2 p.m. margin calls. Did you forget?
It could be something will happen, but hopefully it will. As you know, President Putin just announced a 3-day
Should I have this many
ceasefire,
5,700 calls?
which doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot.
Probably
We knew
not.
where we started from because they were not. We had a president that for 3 years didn't speak to Putin, and it all shouldn't have happened. This is a war that should have never happened. And you're going to be very disappointed when you find out the real number of people that were killed. It's far greater, many times greater, I believe, but far greater than the numbers that you're putting out. It's a very, very deadly, horrible war. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some Catholics were not so happy about the image of you looking like the Pope.
Oh, I see. You mean they can't take a joke? You don't mean the Catholics. You mean the fake news media. Not the Catholics loved it. I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe it was AI, but I know nothing about it. I just saw it last evening. Actually, my wife thought it was cute. She said, "Isn't that nice?"
My question about
Actually, I would not be able to be married, though. That would be a lot.
From the White House Twitter account.
To the best of my knowledge, popes aren't big on getting married, are they? Not that we know.
What's up,
no.
Carl?
No, I think it's the fake news media that they're fakers.
My question, though, sir, was about the fact that it was put out on the White House account, even though it was AI generated, it was a joke, it was a meme. Does it at all diminish the substance of the official White House account to have it go out on that particular
give me a
channel?
break. It was just somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun, don't you? Yeah, please, go ahead.
Tell me about the program that's just been introduced to give undocumented immigrants living in the United States
About me?
$1,000 to self-deport. Can you just tell us a little bit?
Oh, the new program,
The new
yeah.
program.
We have millions of people that have come into this country illegally through an administration that didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have a clue. And now we find out officially they didn't because the president was incompetent, but I could have told you that before. And they've allowed millions and millions of people to pour in. Murderers, drug dealers, the biggest drug dealers in the world, actually. Terrorists come in, emptied prisons from many countries, not just South America, all over the world. They emptied their prisons into our beautiful USA. And to get that many people, 21 million people we think the real number is, but let's say 3 million of them are serious criminals. 11,888 murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. It's hard to believe we have to even talk about this when we're talking about something so beautiful, but it's something we have to talk about having to do with the country because it's very important. So they came in by the millions illegally into our country. They just flowed in through an open border policy that was insane. And what we've done is we've offered, you know the numbers, but because we're taking them out by the thousands, we're being obstructed. It's very unfair what's happening because the court system it's very unfair. We have to get them out fast. These are bad people. These are people that are killing, and they've already killed many people in this country. Illegal immigrants that came in illegally through an open border policy, which is insane. We talk about common sense. That's not common sense. And they came in from the Congo, all over Africa, all over Asia, all over South America, parts of Europe. They flowed in and just walked right into our country. We had no idea who they were. 21 million.
Really? I made some money on the bounce off 35.
Lower numbers than that. It's not.
I didn't think it was too bad. Like, it was choppy, but it was
really
fine.
Serious criminals and terrorists.
We still haven't filled the
People from
upside
jails,
gap.
They emptied out jails. You know, Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they took all the criminals off the streets and the gangs, and they dumped them into our country. So we're getting them out. It's a very difficult thing with the courts because the courts have all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they said, maybe you have to have trials. We're going to have 5 million trials. Doesn't work. You wouldn't have a country left. But hopefully the Supreme Court will save it. But what they've done is a very, very serious thing. You know, past presidents took out hundreds of thousands of people when needed. You look at Eisenhower, you look at many of them, and they took people out and they didn't go through any of this. But what we thought we'd do is a self-deport, where we're going to pay each one a certain amount of money, and we're going to get them a beautiful flight back to where they came from, and they have a period of time. And if they make it, we're going to work with them so that maybe someday, with a little work, they can come back in if they're good people, if they're the kind of people that we want in our company, industrious people that could love our country. And if they're not, they won't. But it will give them a path to becoming, to coming back into the country. If they miss that limit, they're going to be taken out of our country, and they will never get a path to come back in, and it'll be a much tougher process. And it's called self-deportation. And by doing that, you're talking about so many millions of people. By doing that, we've taken out thousands of terrorists, drug lords. What we've done is amazing, and I'm sure Tom Homan and Kristi Noem have done an incredible job. They really have done an incredible job, but it's a hard job. So we're going to have a self-deportation where they deport
some bot puts at 75, 80.
out of our country, and we'll work with them, and we're going to try, and if we think they're good.
Still a lot of calls at 75,
the
though.
we want in our country, they're going to come back into our country. We'll give them a little easier route. But if they don't work, and if we take them out after the date, then they're never coming back. And that's the least of the problems that they're going to have. Yeah, please.
What's your expectation for your meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister tomorrow?
I don't know. He's coming to see me. I'm not sure what he wants to see me about, but I guess he wants to make a deal. Everybody does. They all want to make a deal because we have something that they all want. We have something that they all want. China wants to make a deal very badly. You see what's happening to China. China's being decimated, and I don't want that to happen. But they have to make a fair deal. We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year. We were losing think of it, on our trade policies with Biden. We're losing $5 billion a day. I think Josh, as a great businessman, would not let that happen too long, right? How many groups could lose $5 billion a day? If you lose $5 billion one day, that's the end of that company, right? You're fired. He says, you're fired. Get out of here. So we essentially did that, and we have it down to a very low number. We're doing really well, really well. Yeah.
How did you decide to reopen Alcatraz? Can you walk us through that decision?
Did I say what?
To reopen Alcatraz, how will you use it? How did you come up with the idea?
Well, I guess I was supposed to be a movie maker. We started with the movie making, and we'll end. I mean, it represents something very strong, very powerful in terms of law and order. Our country needs law and order. Alcatraz is, I would say, the ultimate, right? Alcatraz, Sing Sing and Alcatraz, the movies. But it's right now a museum, believe it or not. A lot of people go there. It housed the most violent criminals in the world, and nobody ever escaped. One person almost got there, but they, as you know, the story.
Just gonna name some famous prisons from the past.
And it was a lot of shark bites, a lot of problems. Nobody's ever escaped from Alcatraz, and just represented something strong having to do with law and order. We need law and order in this country, and so we're going to look at it. Some of the people up here are going to be working very hard on that.
Sean Connery got out.
We had a little conversation. It's going to be very interesting. We'll see if we can bring it back in large form, add a lot. But I think
and Clint Eastwood. It's true.
Right now it's a big hulk that's
Getting some sold puts coming into the downside, and a few at 85 and 90.
You look at it, it's sort of you saw
There's still a fairly significant number of bot puts at spot.
It sort of represents something that's both horrible and beautiful and strong and miserable, weak. It's got a lot of qualities that are interesting, and I think they make a point. Okay, are you guys okay? I want to just say that it's such an honor to be up here with my friends, because this is a group of people that have done an amazing job, and all we can do, Muriel and I, is give them the greatest site there is, I think, that I've ever seen for something like this. And I did very well in the real estate business. I think this is the greatest site there is anywhere in the world for exactly what you guys are doing. And we'll work with you. We've got a lot of work to do to get it going, but we'll work with you, and we'll try and make the dream come true. And I want to thank you all very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to help the people of Gaza get some food. People are starving, and we're going to help them get some food. A lot of people are making it very, very bad. If you look, Hamas is making it impossible because they're taking everything that's brought in. But we're going to help the people of Gaza,
choppy price action,
because they're being treated very badly by Hamas. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
That was fun. Alright, that's over, and it was uneventful, so... Still more and more pets at 75 coming in. Gap closes at 82. Oop, futures broke 5,700 there. Vol shorts are starting to come in a little more heavily. Still have like 2 hours left in the day. I'd rather listen to Powell at any time. Hope you're feeling better. Pickles Picks Pissed was amazing. Thank you. No problem. No, he didn't say anything important. I think bulls are still pushing for a breakout here. Bot calls at 85 and 5,700 coming in. There's a little bit of short call resistance up to 5,700, but not too much. Still more call buying at 85. Some puts being sold at 80. Few out at 90 and 85. Couple out at 57.05. In the money, or out of the money puts being sold pretty heavily from 5,700 down. 5,700 is still a fairly significant resistance here. 56.95 also. Probably one more good vol short and we push up through the gap. They need to sell more puts to pump this. I don't know if they need to sell way more. Other than bulls being mouth breathers, is there any reason they're trying to pump? Probably for stability into the midweek. Oh, gapping my captain. I want. Check out the chart for the company VIX. You say gap at 82. Are you including the pre-market? No. The upside gap from market open is at 56.82.86. Or closes at 52.80. 56.82.86. For ES, there's like 5707.75, and that would probably include the pre-market. So separate gap. Although the ES one's probably more important. There's a gap back to the downside at 56.65. Tiny one. But 65 held as support earlier. Do you guys see how much faster the live data calcs are? It didn't glorp. It's okay. We'll have more dynamic charts in the future that really showcase the speed. They are quite a bit more snappy. I can understand, like, not noticing the difference in, like, milliseconds of price data, but options data going from 5 seconds down to, like, 1 is, huge. Yes, it's still holding 5,700 so far. That's on copper for the next few months. That's a good question. I would say demand probably remains high, but there's probably a bit of a supply surplus. Especially after the run from, like, going into the tariff announcement. The Chinese copper is going to run out. There have been recent jumps due to American demand, as well as reshoring copper supply here. That's going to take a long time. Strip mines don't build themselves overnight. No, I don't think we're getting to 5750. Might test 50, 5695, maybe 5700. Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts on Ford earnings. I mean, unaffected by tariffs and shit for now. Guidance could be negative. We can see what the market's pricing. The fuck? What did I do? Oh, okay. Ford's right at delta neutral. A little bit of upside interest out to like $11. What did Ford do today? Hold on. Ford's a 10. So fell kind of back to the gamma flip. MM's pricing in like 3 to 7% over the next 5 days. IV10's pretty elevated, but coming down into the end of last week. That's weird. Still haven't closed the gap. Getting closer though. They're fucking grindy. Bot calls at 85 and 5700 still coming in. Some larger candles would be nice. It doesn't seem like bulls are giving up on pressuring the upside here. Left a little gap at 80. Guess we're just waiting for FOMC. Largely, yeah. Yeah, I don't think we get over 56.95 today. If we even could test it. I think really bulls are just trying to keep us off of 60 and 65. More so than they're trying to push for like a larger breakout. Careful of a rejection if they do fill the gap. Might price up out of the money calls and drive profit taking. Yeah, I sold the house a while ago. Oh, Todd's not done yet. What's up, Willie? Willie, look at the new calcs. They're so fast. There's nothing happening in the options market right now. But trust me, they're really fast. Futures pushing up to a new high. Still no volume, but consolidation could push a breakout. Is the new Baby Nuke Super Data Pump-O-Matic 5000 in action? Yeah, yeah. Holy fuck, volume is so low, though. I promise, it would look way cooler if things were happening. Was the IWM print bullish? No, it was pretty bad. It managed to stay above contraction, but prices surged quite a bit. Which isn't as bad as if it had contracted. Like, had you gotten both, like sub 50 point print on like the ISM index, and then also the price increase, that would have been way more bearish. The market's like a pet. It won't do its trick when the company comes over and you want to show it off. Yeah. Did we close the fucking gap? Not yet. Still like 50 cents more. I think the increase in prices is bad enough to pressure yields. They're saying yields at the top end of the curve move up, so that's kind of in line with what I thought for the week. I think a lot of the 5-year positioning is in order to offset the basis trade. Given like where it peaked from, and so I think anything that causes like swelling in the belly of the curve is going to be really bad for people who are like over long the 5-year, and the leverage in the long side of the 5-year is fucking insane. The dealers are super short. But, I mean, it remains to see how hawkish the Fed's going to be. The fuck are you talking about? Ooh. 6 Northeastern governors, led by Massachusetts governor, invited Canada premiers to Boston to discuss the impact of Trump's tariffs. Secession, let's go. Rebel Northerners. Rebellion's just contextual. Hawkish pause would strengthen the dollar, though, right? Not really. Only if it promoted more confidence in the dollar, which I don't think it necessarily will. Not right now. Could they just secede until this all blows over? Yeah. And California, Oregon, Washington, and Maryland, and everything up to the right. Actually, it'd probably be. I wonder where the popular vote by state could win out. Probably everything from Ohio, like Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Delaware, and that's probably about it. So, you know, just like 90% of the US economy. Addressing it at the state level seems more intelligent. Are you gonna be Canadian for a bit involuntarily? Gross. Did I forget Jersey? Jersey, whatever. Who cares? Honestly, they can keep Jersey. States' rights, baby. Why are you talking about states seceding? I mean, that's the next step, right? If the legislature doesn't act. Why the fuck would I end up with Canada? I'd still have New York pizza. Even if New York were part of Canada, which I don't think would be what would happen. We would just splinter. Is Jersey even a state? Meh. Maybe they could just take South Jersey. That'd be better. Montreal bagels suck. RRP down to 124.69 billion after today's auction. Draw down that repo. I mean, we already have municipal bonds in the United States. So if, So if states were to issue their own sovereign debt post secession, yield differentials would emerge, obviously. But like it would probably be based on creditworthiness and stability in their tax base, legal protections, in rule of law, and I mean, that would also mean that there would be no like shared currency, which there probably would be. And initially, it would be very, very bad. I mean, yields would be terrible for the states because, I mean, just moral hazard and lack of legal framework. You know where you find similarities about like Italy and Germany in the EU? Or like France, Germany? But it would make more succession, more sense in the event of a succession from the Union that states would form like a republic amongst themselves. Secession, not succession. The gap's filled. Although that's not really doing much. The futures gap also filled? I think. Looks like it is. No, a couple more dollars. Jen's a mod now. That's good. Yeah. We were into the Met Gala. View up or GS hat. So I have the feeling it might just melt up for the next couple of weeks. I kind of talked about that last night. I mean, if realized volatility starts to fall and like vol control and CTAs move into larger long positions, then yeah, probably. A lot is going to be determined by the back half of this week, I think, in the FOMC decision, as far as encouraging confidence to the upside. Currently, there's no fucking positioning up there, which is why we failed and pulled back on Friday. New GS updates are a nice touch. Keeps getting better and better. Hold on. Watch this. There it goes. Now they're moving. I knew something was off. It wasn't just the insanely low volume. Still building out call interest to the upside, short puts to the downside. Supports at 75. Support at 80, I think, here would be important for pressuring out above 83 and kind of pushing over this peak in gamma locally. Although, again, I still think the upside's pretty limited. So even if bulls do get the breakout, probably not getting over like 56.95. Maybe very end of day we could. But right now it looks like kind of a hard limit on the intraday positioning. Are any use to trying to analyze channels, etc. on SPY right now, or is it just doing whatever it wants leading into the Fed Wednesday? No, I still think Wednesday is far enough out that there's going to be some range in price action, just not a lot. Muster line's back, y'all. Secret GS updates. Tom Ford suit, GS hat. Could I pull it off? I think I could. There's some blue states floating in seas of red. Secession will be tricky. No. There's presidential election red states that are majority population blue. So at the state level, they're blue. They're blue as fuck. Thanks, gerrymandering. But like, everything from like Minnesota, with the exception of maybe Indiana. Maybe Indiana is a bit tricky. But all the major population centers are super blue outside of the South. Y'all can keep Indiana. Again, much like southern New Jersey. I don't think anybody wants it. Thanks, Nitu. I appreciate it. I'll discuss it with my stylist. Oh, shit. It's supposed to be BOJ minutes. I was very allergic and tired. Yeah, just... I'll edit it tonight. Yeah, it's the commentary in the minutes that matters. They're getting pressured pretty heavily by the parliament to raise rates now. And they're trying to keep in line with their provisions for FX volatility. But tariff negotiations with Japan are not going well. And so the content of the minutes, I mentioned this last week too, but the content of the minutes is really important this week. If they're gonna maintain like hawkish policy into the end of the year, that means more rate hikes are incoming. Would the oil boof help Japan a lot? Yeah, but they want to take advantage of that. They don't want to continue to handicap their economy, especially during a period where oil imports are cheaper for them and they could stockpile it. Electoral mechanics. Keep it going. You're talking my love language. Ew. We lost 80? That's probably not great. power hour coming up. Any positioning changes? Hmm. No, not really. Some 75 puts, but not much compared to the calls at that strike. It did fill the upside gaps. Losing 75 is bearish, if it happens. Nice, me too. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Welcome to Cornichon, guys. Oh, you hit Randall? Cornichon. Give Nitu a shout out for hooking you guys up. Hour of grind wiped out in 5 minutes. Yep, that sounds about right. Still bulls and bears fighting against each other here. Bye, Jen. What do I need to look up? Oh, okay. Mm. 75 slipped. Calls building up at 80 now. 80 and 75. Looks like some puts bought back at 60. Ooh, fuck. There, what? That was bad. There's a little bit of support at 70, but not much. Big pile of puts coming in. 70, 65, 60, 55, 50. One sec. All right. Filled the gap back at 80 or 72. A little bit of support, but not much. 65 and 60 puts are still on the chain. If this doesn't push back up above 75, then we're going to get a continuation to the downside, probably a lower low. Gamma's flattening out to the downside, down to 50. Still holding 70 so far. Some 75 calls getting bought a little bit here. Not a ton of profit taking though. We'll just casually up $100. Probably nothing. One second. Ugh. Sorry about that. Bum, bum, bum. So there's bot puts to the downside still at 60, 55, and then more all the way out to like 40. I don't see a lot of bullish positioning coming here despite the support that we're getting. So I'm just gonna steal that put money and rocket it up into today. Maybe, yeah. I got some calls just came in 70, 75, 80. Some of the 80 calls took profit. More, or 75 calls took profit. More 80 calls coming in. A couple calls at 70. Still a decent number of puts to the downside. Hmm. Couple bot puts at 70. In the money calls at 60, 65 coming in. Careful of support on the delta flip. Driving a higher bounce. Yep, like that one. Hmm. Bounce off of the delta flip failed. So now we might push back to the low or lower. Mm, 60 might be a little hard to get over. Your lips to Kenny's ears. $45.60 has a chunk of positives also. Will that hold us up? No, not really. No. As a matter of fact, that's probably pretty likely to squeeze. Almost had 10 days. Almost. This is fun. Sweet Jesus. Put it back. Why are you guys doing bullish? I drew a line down for the first couple of days of the week. Nice. No, my top plot went down. Where is it? Didn't alter it. Did Todd pull an Icarus? A little bit. We haven't lost any, like, significant levels yet. If we lose 5,600, that's bad, but we're nowhere near DN yet. Still got plenty of padding. maybe 45. 40 is going to be hard to hit. Apple looks awful. Mm-hmm. So I get for not trusting GS for the 50 test. Yeah, that's valid. We're in a bubble. It's deflating a little. Damn. Failure on the gap fill to the upside is kind of nuts. Also reinforces the head and shoulder breakdown on the 15-minute for ES. You're looking for another leap entry into NVIDIA with options pricing down? Yeah, but I think I'm going to switch to the 80 from the 60. Because last time the 80 was like pretty profitable in comparison. I still have 60s that are free. And up, but also free. Ding dang. Nice 56.50 close. Definitely on the lower end of things too. Alright, so oop, shit. There we go. Closing almost exactly at the market maker's expected move to the downside. Hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, so closing out almost at the market maker's expected move to the downside after a rejection on the gap fill from the overnight session. For ES, that meant that the recovery of the trend failed into the end of day. And could likely lead to some more bearish price action as the 56.73 level is lost going into the overnight session, which opens up a test down at 56.50 ES. Out here on the dollar, I don't think I have a lot of this set up. Shit. Yeah, my computer fucking shut off this morning. Yields on the back end of the curve rose, along with a little bit of a bump in the steepener, I think. Yeah, like 3% bump in the bear steepener from an intraday drop down to like 19. There's quite a lot of volatility there on the spread. Commodities up slightly, no improvement in oil, but a big bump in precious metals, with gold moving back up about 3%, Bitcoin flat on the day, dollar down, especially against the euro and the yen. Copper and silver moved a little bit, but it looks like agriculture and energy didn't do too well. There's a little bit of a breakdown in correlation, and correlation increased on the 1 and 3 month, alongside the drop in price. So we may be starting to see some of that delta we talked about last week falling off. I'm not really sure if the effect of that is going to be that significant yet, but it's slightly important. Move back down around 100. I don't think anything today did anything to volatility. Let's see. Skew moved up again on Friday, but probably some more out of the money put buying today. I am interested in seeing what's going on with correlation here. Let's see. Still looks like more short vols coming in. I mean, correlation's still breaking down a little as it moves towards as it moves towards that cusp of like realized volatility starting to fall. We're not there yet. We need to get out past the 10th, but there's still some vol shorting coming in even today. Our breadth, not much of an improvement on Friday. Still kind of around the 88 level. Today we probably saw a pretty significant amount of that fall off with, sorry, these charts are all fucked. 70, 80. Russell fell a little bit today after the 2.3% move on Friday. Fed fund futures continued to decline, further pricing out a near-term rate cut. This is probably the most important thing going on right now, is that over the last 3 days, they've almost fully priced out a rate cut for this week. ISM contributing more significantly today, but with jobs data contributing last week. The ISM report did not show contraction in the services industries. There's still moderate expansion, but there was a very significant bump in prices, which is generally considered a forward look at headline CPI. And so based on services prices, we're probably going to see an inflationary bump in CPI down the road, and that is going to restrict the Fed's ability to do anything. Yeah, and the bear steepener moved up. I will note out here on the daily that we did get a slight rejection off of the 56.69 level, which is that monthly low from November 2024. This hasn't picked up any momentum to the downside yet, but a loss of Friday's low and a loss of 56.50 could start to contribute to that more meaningfully. And then I would look down to the 50 MA for some support, and the 30 EMA beyond that, which is, like 55.75 now and 55.13. Especially this like 54.88 level where we previously got a little bit of support built up before our move higher into the back half of last week if this level is lost down at 54.88, we could get a downside continuation or a larger failure, maybe back to like this trend here, which would, you know, that would be like that 54.02 test. Further failure than that could mark like a move towards a new low. But keep an eye on yields this week. There's a lot of leverage on like 5-year futures. And as the belly of the curve rises, which it only did minimally today, that position is going to get pressured, and the dealer short benefits very greatly from that highly leveraged positioning. Obviously, you know, tariff talks and all of that aside, we could still see Trump get very, very upset about the Fed continuing to pause and hold off on any rate cuts. And if Trump starts his rhetoric of threatening the Fed again and puts, you know, the independence of the Fed into question again, we're very likely to see yields across the curve rise. It's not a good look internationally, and international U.S. Treasury investors are likely to trim their risk in the event that happens. So keep an eye on all of that. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Sorry it was such a short stream. Not feeling too well still, but the allergy, like the pollen counts, will start to fall off hopefully in like a few days. Anyway, I'll have Pickles Picks out tonight. Thank you guys so much. Later.